Welcome everyone to the 911 real estate call. Whether you're a doctor, managing patients,
a business owner, running operations, or an entrepreneur balancing multiple ventures, this space is designed for you.
multifamily real estate investing can seem overwhelming,
But today, we're here to make it simple and easy to understand. Together, we'll dive into real deals, discuss strategies, and exchange ideas to help you grow your portfolio and generate true wealth.
This call isn't just about properties, it's about building strong connections and creating long-term financial success.
Let's jump in and unlock the next step in your investment journey.
This morning, we're kicking things off with Erika, who embodies what it means to pivot with purpose and invest with impact. A little bit about her. She built a fashion empire with over $60 million in sales, launching international brands through her company, Babel Fair Showroom. But what makes Erika extraordinary isn't just what she built, it's how she keeps building. She took that same creative fire and business acumen and stepped into real estate, going from LP to GPing on an 80-unit multifamily deal in just over a year. And if you ask, what is her superpower? I mean, she spots opportunities early, phenomenal at connecting with people intentionally, and makes bold moves with her heart. And she has lots of it. She's also the founder of the New York Women's Real Estate Investors Meetup. So for those of you who haven't gone, you got to check it out. And today she's here to share her journey from fashion to financial freedom, from storefronts to syndication. Let's give a warm welcome to Erika. Woo!
Thanks so much. Thanks, Alex. Okay, let me try to share my screen. Let me see. Sorry, one second. Oops, sorry, guys. This might be better. I'm doing it from a Canva.
It is all good.
Okay. So today, I hope everyone's ready to hear about some fashion retail stuff. I know that's not exactly what people talk about normally on this in this meeting, but I do have a lot about that. So let's try this. This isn't the.
This will be great. God knows I need help on that. I needed help on that for a while, so thank God.
Get Eric away from just baseball caps and t-shirts.
Right. Erika, you can certainly give me
Give him some long pants.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone wants any fashion consulting, I'm happy to do that. But yeah, so I put together a little presentation, basically I thought I would outline my journey from my journey through entrepreneurship and to real estate. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to stop me. It's pretty casual. So my name is Erika Kiang. I'm an entrepreneur, and now I do real estate for the last, I would say, year and a half. My Instagram is erika.kiang, so feel free to connect with me there. I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years, so I have not received a paycheck from anyone but myself for 15 years. I was born in New York, and I was raised in New Jersey, but I've really been in New York for the last 20 years. I went to Barnard College, Women's College of Columbia. My major was English and film. So I only put that because I have no background in business, but I would have loved to have done that. I was born in New York City, but I was raised in New Jersey by a very typical middle-class family. I have two siblings, an older brother and a younger sister. And I'm from Madison, New Jersey. I don't know if anyone else is from close by, but it's a very picturesque, quintessential middle-class town. I had a really great childhood growing up, spent a lot of time outside. I feel like kids don't do that anymore, but I don't know. One of the biggest pivotal points in my life, and I do feel like this is related to how I live my life now and being an entrepreneur, is that when I was 12 years old, my mother was actually diagnosed with encephalitis. One day she had a big seizure obviously not common for a normal healthy person. So she had encephalitis as brain damage. So for the next 13 years, she was very, very, very sick. She had no short-term memory. She couldn't drive because of being epileptic. And so that really defined my childhood. 3 months later, I actually got diagnosed with lupus SLE, a severe kind of lupus. So I went through chemotherapy for 3 years on and off. I lost my hair. So yeah, so I only say this because I do feel like it really drove the way that I became an entrepreneur. Um, I became very self-reliant as a young adult. My dad was very preoccupied with my mom, taking her to doctors constantly, neurologists, anyone that could try to help her. So she passed away when I was 25. So she was sick for about 12 years. But it did make me extremely driven, resilient. I got to really learn how to take care of myself because of that event in my life. So my early career, I did internships at Vogue and Gucci while I went to college here in New York City. And then I went on to work at Ann Taylor as a corporate merchandiser. And I think that I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur from a young age, but I did know that I needed to get that corporate background. And so what I really learned were systems. So Ann Taylor was a great place to learn reporting, operations. We had 500 stores, retail planning, margins. I learned about marketing. I helped with the marketing department, creating a story and a vision for your products. Obviously learned how to work hard. I was at Vogue 3 days a week when I was in college, and that was like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. days. They basically treat you like you are part of their staff. And just learned the business of retail and fashion, learned retail math and terminology because that's actually something that I had no background on at all. So I think the only reason I was able to get my Ann Taylor position was because I did do a lot of internships. So, sorry, one second. After that, actually, I was let go from Ann Taylor, which was really tough at the time, even though I had been planning my escape because I knew I was gonna start a company. So while it was disappointing, I actually had already laid the foundation, and it helped me because I got severance, which was pretty great, to start my company, which is Babel Fair. So I started Babel Fair in 2009 as a single store. 2009 was right in the recession, if anyone remembers. So it was actually a great time to start a new business. I was right in the heart of Nolita, which is also known as SoHo in New York City. Got a really good rent, and everything was like discounted at that time. So, so Babel Fair was a boutique that brought together popular international brands from around the world that New Yorkers didn't have access to. So the first month in sales, I did 50,000, which for a 24-year-old is like, wow, this is amazing. And so I went to Charles Schwab. This is like my first attempt at investing. And I had no idea about stocks or bonds or anything like that, but I was told to go there. So I went there and I sat with the guy, and he was like, and I was like, well, I want to start investing because that's what I had heard, but I really didn't understand much. And I thought that they would explain it to me. And then when he looked at, kind of asked me a few questions, he was like, well, it looks like you make more money with yourself than I could make for you. And at the time, I really didn't understand what he was saying, but all I heard was I make more money for myself. So I walked out of there never having made an investment for the next 10 years, which is really crazy. And that was pretty much not the best advice because if you're an entrepreneur, you know that you have good years and bad years. I mean, good runs. I mean, you could have a good day and then a bad day. It's so up and down that I kind of walked out of there not really understanding the importance of investing and really focusing on only cash flow. But I was young and I didn't care at the time. So I actually got sponsored by a lot of the foreign trade commissions. They paid for hotels and rooms to go to airfare to go to different countries because I was importing different brands. So that was very fun at the time. I went to Seoul, Spain, Rio de Janeiro. They actually also let me bring my dad and my sister to that trip. I got to know a lot about different fashion brands there and start relationships. The store did really well, featured on TLC, the show Who What Wear. We had celebrity clients. We got a lot of press. The reason why I think we got a lot of press is because if anyone remembers Lucky Magazine, that used to be the magazine for shopping. So that was a big one for me on NBC. But something that I learned, from Ann Taylor and my previous internships and jobs was the importance of creating a story. So, like, editors are always looking for something to write. So I never paid a PR person I actually didn't really do much of social media, but the story really carried us through. Like, people were so interested. We had watches from Japan that were really rare to find. A perfume from France that was supposed to make you happy, all these brands that were really popular in their home countries that we imported. And I was good at kind of creating that buzz. So there was like a long line for this one because I used to do this thing for Black Friday, which was like called Haggle Day, where they would haggle with me. And so we would just negotiate. They'd be like 5 dresses for $600. I'd be like 580, like, whatever. So that created a little buzz, and we were constantly doing things like that. So I opened a second store in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but that was actually one of the other very up and coming areas. That's where I live now. I did styling for our brands. Then the bigger opportunity was really so something that I realized was that I was bringing all these brands in from around the world that nobody knew in the U.S. And I slowly realized through working with other brands that the bigger opportunity was probably to wholesale these brands to retailers. This is not like a normal trajectory for anyone who has a store, but it's what I ended up doing because my friend was a buyer at Urban Outfitters. And so we had a basement at the store, and I started to invite buyers to the basement to sell these brands wholesale, which actually ended up taking off. So here I am. I actually ended up going to Urban Outfitters, their headquarters, for a meeting. At that time, I thought I could just like place the clothes on a table, which is what I did. That's not the best way to display clothes, by the way. But yeah, I directed this photo shoot and redid all of their marketing for the US because a lot of foreign brands are not fully positioned to sell in the US. So it did take a lot of consulting and changes. So just showing, so like at that time I had 2 stores. I eventually pulled the showroom out to Midtown, and we also opened up an LA showroom. So it's just like us, we always do these like Christmas parties. And this is buyer from Anthropology. So we distribute and sell our brands and do consulting. We work with Revolve, Urban Outfitters, Shop Hop, Nordstrom, lots of mom and pop stores, most major retail stores in the US. In 2019, I actually closed the stores. The 10-year lease was up, so my really good rate on the store, the rent had ballooned. I think it tripled that what they wanted. To date, I've done over $60 million in sales in the showroom. And then in 2020, the pandemic hit, which is also this is the next time that I really think about investing, because for years and years, I had just relied on cash flow. I was young. I didn't think about the future, but that was a big mistake, obviously, and something that I do not recommend. And so then I really started stock market investing. I know some people dog out the stock market. It's done really well for me, especially in 2020 when stocks were on sale, is what I call it. So I started investing there. I think the key lessons for me from entrepreneurship was the ability to pivot and identify opportunities. The store was a passion project for me, but at some point I realized the wholesale sales just outweighed the store sales. It was tough to let them go, but I feel like you really have to know your numbers and know where the opportunities lie. Systematize. I had taken a lot of the lessons that I learned from Ann Taylor working on 500 stores. I took the same systems, the same Excel sheets, same reporting, everything to my 2 stores. So the people who worked at the stores did everything the same exact way. Like anytime you went into a Babel fair, I wanted them to have the same experience. Numbers were put in the same way. We said the same thing to the employees. I was very much into like systematizing everything. And then just endurance and resilience, from a young age, I know like I'm definitely like to a fault I can endure. I can go through as an entrepreneur, I think you're all a little crazy. Otherwise, you really wouldn't do it because it's not super easy. Like there's something in you that is driving you. And so yeah, so that's been a big lesson for me in entrepreneurship. Um, But what I learned in an older age is, your business is not your retirement plan. For me, it was. I was like, I'm going to work till I die and I'm never going to stop working. But in the pandemic, when everything stopped, I realized, like that might not be up to me. You just never know. And so I really have spent the last few years learning about active versus passive income. I think, I learned it's so hard to make money, but so easy to spend it. So like, if you make $1 million, you spend 1,000,001, you're in the red. So, and and I'm now focused on income producing assets to build wealth and not just from cash flow. So I started last year actually just being an LP in a 26 unit deal in Ocala, Florida. It's been a great experience for me. I did a lot of networking within the last year and a half, and I met these guys and I really trusted them, and it's gone exactly how they said it has. So, and then last year I purchased a 3 family here in New York City. It was $1.7 million. I got renovated it. So this is what the interior looked like. It was and I did this. I'm proud to say that I did this by myself. I think it's been a really good learning experience, and to be honest, I'm still not finished with it. So it's been yeah, I've learned a lot of lessons, some good, some bad. But yeah, it started off really out of date, especially for this area, which is a high-end A-class area. So I didn't think I was going to do this, but this is what I thought we were doing, a light renovation. Okay. Like when I got this, okay, then this is the next thing that I walked into. And as you can see, we redid everything, electrical, plumbing. I put in HVACs instead of gas heat. I mean, every single thing is new. And as my contractor said, we got out the ghosts because it's a 1902 build, which is a very typical year in New York City. There's no like, yeah, 1900 is very normal year. And this is what it looks like now. And the appraisal just came in
Wow.
at 2.6 million.
Oh, that's
So I'm
awesome.
about to do a cash out refinance on this. Yeah. So that was exciting. I'm going to pull cash out and, you know, maybe do something else. But yeah, so I wanted to clean it up. I moved the kitchen. So in New York City, these old buildings, they're almost all the same. So it's a 3 unit building, which is like all of Brooklyn is the same height, same building. Because these are from the early 1900s, who knows why they did this, but they put the kitchen in the back. And so there's no windows on the sides of these apartments, only the front and the back. So I moved the kitchen from the back to the middle so that I could get 2 legal bedrooms. And I added a bathroom. So there are 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms. They started as bathroom, 1 bedroom. So right now I rented them for 4,900 because I wanted to get it done quickly. I do think that you can rent them for like 52 would be normal for this area per unit. So the other thing that, I did that I'm proud of is running the New York Women Real Estate Investors Group. This is actually the first text message that ever happened on our group last year. Because people are like, why did you do it? I'm like, I didn't intentionally do this, but I think when women investors are not as common as men are, like they are becoming more common. But I met a few women in New York City just because by virtue of just talking about real estate all the time. And I think when you do real estate, especially when you start, you become obsessed with it. And so I met a few women in New York City that were like, let's go get dinner. So then I said, hi, great. I made this group because I met all of you individually and you're all women who are interested in real estate. And I think that first dinner was supposed to be 3 people. And then that first dinner ended up being this picture, which was 25 people. And now we're up to 64 people. We had 70 people at our last meetup. So I think just like having a passion for something and finding your community is really important. And I think I'm very used to running groups and I really enjoy that, whether it's entrepreneurship or investing in real estate. And so this is just like the last video that we took from our event. We are doing one August 9th in New York City. If anyone is interested in coming or wants to join our group, I'd love to have you. But yeah, so this has been really fun. We've had many different speakers and it's been a great way to just like connect with women and learn about their journey. And wrapping up, but you know, how fashion entrepreneurship has helped me in real estate. Because you would think these things, two things are very unrelated, which I can see. But I think from a financial and deal analysis, you know, something that I'm proud of is in the pandemic when every order was getting canceled by retailers, I didn't get one order canceled. You know, I really, sorry, this is more negotiation skills, but I was able to get on the phone with every single buyer. I talked to the CFO of Urban. He did not have to take a phone call with me, you know, but our showroom is important to that. Our business is important to them. And so I was able to negotiate all of those orders to be either slightly discounted or we pulse them out. But whatever the deal was, the relationship is what mattered. And so I've had the same buyers, clients for like 9, 10 years. So yeah, financial and deal analysis, obviously networking and motivating small groups. You know, I have to motivate my employees. Being a smaller company, it's harder to get the top tier talent, right? Like they can go wherever they want. So I know a big part of my job to get the best talent is to woo them. Like I don't sit here thinking like, oh, I have this opportunity. I really know when I have an interview, like we're interviewing each other, and I've been able to get some really great, like loyal employees that way. And yeah, sales and negotiation skills. And so that's it for my presentation. If anyone wants to reach out to me, you can email me, or yeah, follow me on Instagram.
Erica, thank you so much. I'm sure there's a lot of comments and questions. I'm going to start with the first one. I had first, let me give you a comment. Thank you so much for coming up and being here and showing up and sharing your story. I had no idea the things that you went through as a child and what your family went through. And also, I didn't know that you just started that meetup last year because your meetups on social media, at least from what I see, they're so popping. I was like, dude, it looks like she's been doing it for years. I was like, what? Right.
Thanks.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
With the first deal that you did as an LP, you know, some of us are more seasoned, some of us are new. When you said you talked with them, you trusted them, what were some key indicators to you that told you, hey, that Ocala deal is a deal I want to be an LP in, especially that being your first deal? Tell us a little bit more about that process.
It's funny because I did look at a lot of deals, like a lot of deals. And it wasn't like because I can be aggressive as an entrepreneur, but I'm still pretty conservative in some ways. And so obviously also when it comes to your own money. So when I met these guys, I love underwriting, which is odd. Like I really do like it. I think it's very similar to like retail spreadsheets sometimes. So I'm fine with sitting there and going through numbers. I underwrite a lot of deals by myself. So, and I wanted to educate myself. So their underwriting was really, it made a lot of sense to me, you know, like I can't remember the specifics of that deal, but prior to that, I remember getting a lot of underwriting that just felt really aggressive, that I was like, I mean, everything would have to be super rosy for this outcome to happen, you know, when they showed it to me, obviously also their track record. So I can't remember exactly how many deals they had done before, but I had looked at their previous deals. I also know their previous investors. I think that's an important one. You always want to talk to other investors to make sure that they're happy, right? Like, did they do what they said they were going to do? Did they ghost you? So I'm in a network of these particular operators. I don't think, and I know a lot of people say, I don't think I would ever be the kind that would get like a Facebook advertisement and then just like invest, So it was a combination of knowing their reputation and they're looking at their underwriting and how they structured a lot of different things, from structuring the actual deal and their business plan. Those all made a lot of sense to me.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing that. What are some red flags that you have seen where you're like, yep, I'm not going to invest in this deal? What are some things that you've seen? Don't name any names though,
No, let me name
Unless
the
if you
names.
want to.
No, it's okay. I'm not here.
Name names. Eric's like
Name
name names.
names.
Shit.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't even remember. I have such a bad memory. I have to say I have to write everything down anyways. No, I think I mean, number one is going to be experience. I think if you've never ever done it before and you don't have anyone on because I have seen deals like that where they're like, and then this is my first deal and I'm raising like $5 million. And I'm like, I don't want to be the first, like it would have to be a really insane deal for me to do that. And I'm not saying that you can't be new and start. I think you'd have to have someone really experienced partnered with you. Number two is just, again, really aggressive underwriting, and that can be open to interpretation, but I'll do really simple checks, like look at similar product in that area and see what the comps are, because a lot of times I've noticed, like one deal that I actually just looked at recently, here in New York City, so no one here knows them, but the comps were taken from something that was completely different product. So like we're talking about like a 1900 brownstone versus like a luxury doorman building on the water. I could also do that, for my Greenpoint apartment. The apartments on the water here in New York City are going for $11,000 for a 2-bedroom. So yes, I could have told investors that I could get $11,000 in rent, but you're talking about a completely different product. So I do think that comes up a lot when I look at things. I don't know if anyone, I mean, a lot of people here are way more experienced than I am in this, but like I always do kind of like checks like that to see if those things pan out. Those are a few.
That's
Erica,
awesome.
I have a question. So I think it's fantastic, your journey. I did also not know some of the health issues, you and your family have gone through. And truly, I can relate to that, losing a parent
Mhm.
at a young age as well. With your New York City 3 unit,
Mhm.
I mean, that is awesome. I give you credit because that's a very aggressive rehab to start for maybe number one. Tell if you could share some of the good things and the bad things. I know you mentioned both when you were talking about that rehab. Maybe a couple points, good and bad,
Yeah.
that you learned from that deal. And that deal is going to work out fantastically, especially when you have the refi event. So yeah, we'd like to hear that.
I think one of the good things was that I was able to Um, well, one of the good things was that there's no like 3 family in New York in that area anymore for under $2 million. So that ended up being a really good deal. I
Mhm.
didn't get it at first and I was super disappointed. And I was like, okay, like they gave it to someone else, but I kept pestering them and they were like, okay, fine. If this guy doesn't move fast, we'll go to you. And the guy didn't move that fast. And I was like, let's go. Here's my stuff. So I moved really fast and got it done. That was a great thing. What was really tough was that I just wasn't realistic with how much money it would cost. And, I'm fortunate enough because I could get through, but I could see, I mean, there's abandoned brownstones all the time here that are like half got renovated because someone started them and couldn't finish it. So I was really, I mean, it wasn't fun or easy, and I'm still kind of going through it. So, and that also is a lot on me. I wouldn't say it's necessarily on the contractor, because what happened was I only wanted to do certain things. But then when you realize like you're in an A-class neighborhood, and I mean, I'm probably going to keep this for over 20 years, like maybe I'm not going to really sell it. So I think I as we went through, I was like, let's just finish. Let's just do this. Let's just change from, instead of putting back this like old New York City gas heat, which is like these radiators or, I was like, let's just put the HVACs in. Cause like, when am I going to do that? Kick everyone out? And like, so I made those choices. I did not have to redo everything. I wanted to. So, but that was something that I learned, that like, if you're going to do it and have it empty, because the blessing was that it also came empty, which I saw a lot of 3 families that you would have inherited tenants. And a lot of these guys who own these buildings in New York City have had these buildings for 50 years. So they don't have leases, and these guys are paying really low rents. So it would be hard to know if you're inheriting 3 evictions in New York City, which would mean at least a year to get the tenants out, like, unfortunately. So I got a good situation where the owner was in the picture with me. He was really nice, but he was probably in his 70s, and he was actually living in the house. It was his. He had had it for 50 years, and he had had 2 generations there living with him. So they all actually moved to get his son and his kids, like little kids, and they all had a floor, and then they all moved out. So everything aligned in terms of the sale. Like, it was a great property. It was a great purchase. But so I learned, be realistic with the work that you want to do up front. Don't keep like patching it on. And the other thing that is just kind of out of my control, and I didn't realize, but like the city inspections. So we just got denied on an inspection today, actually, because we didn't have fire lights in the hallway. Just New York City is insane. And then each inspection takes a month to reschedule.
wow.
So that's been kind of like ups and downs.
Yeah, those are all great nuggets. I mean, there's something that we've all gone through with various projects, but yeah, that inspection time period, it seems very long. And that's obviously specific to the New York real estate market, which many of us are probably either not aware of, or so that really plays into the factor. I am just curious, would you ever start another fashion related business?
Yes, yeah. And something might be coming. But yeah, I
Oh,
think I
all
would.
right. Cool.
Yeah, I think I would. I'm working on scaling the showroom. We just signed 3 brands last week. One's Italian. Marco's on the call. Italian line of sweaters. I am super excited for. And we get a lot of brands that reach out that we can't take on for one reason or another. They're premature. They're just not there. We're looking to sign heavy hitters. Like, it's like being a record label agent. You can't just sign anyone, because I can't sell anything. So another portion of the business might be an education business, so that like, we might not be able to sign you, but we can tell you exactly what you need to do to be able to scale. The power, I know I'm just talking about the fashion business for a second, but the power of wholesale is truly remarkable, how fast you can grow. Like, we're taking small brands that could be doing 50,000, and we could get them to 500,000, 1 million in a year. Like, that's how, like, we're talking like 10x. Like, that's not a common uh occurrence in business. And so I think it's a really cool opportunity for brands. I think they just need to really have the foundation to be able to do that.
Yeah, so almost like a coaching or consulting business is what I'm hearing, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions? I don't want Alex and I hogging all the questions. Christina,
Hold
go
on,
ahead.
hold on,
Hey,
hold on for a
Oh,
second.
yeah.
sorry. Picture,
Before
picture.
we go, we got to take that picture. So for
Okay.
everyone, let's get your cameras on. All
Everybody
right,
get your cameras on, please,
here
just
we
for a couple
go. We'll
seconds.
count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Christina,
All
go
right,
ahead.
Christina.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm in Florida, and I've actually been to one of Erica's events in New York, and it was incredible. And it's just amazing how you brought your fashion business into real estate, and the way with your networking and the way you can build brands, bring wholesalers from all over the world with major brands in the U.S. That skill set is obviously directly correlating with your real estate, especially with your meetup that you just started a year ago, and you already have 70 people showing up. But with that meetup that you've done, what's been some of the most like rewarding or surprising things that have happened building this community over the past year?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And thank you, Christina. Yeah, I think for me, it's just the relationships, it's like it's been, and in MIH too, obviously. I think for me, I don't think fashion is as open and like, people are gatekeeping. They're not info sharing. You're not gonna sit with a buyer and they're gonna tell you like all of their secrets of, and I think with real estate, people are so open to sharing, info sharing. It's not, I feel like it's more of an abundant mindset than, a scarcity limited one. And I find that from the women in the group, like we're all just here to help each other. Like there's really no competition between us, and I love that. And I think I've gotten to meet so many, like I have so many close friends I didn't have a year ago, and MIH obviously is very much part of that as well. And I feel, yeah, those connections to me, and like just even being able to like get a coffee now I see a woman from my group like once or twice a week. I would do it more if I had more free time, but like I'm seeing them all the time, like in different capacities. So that's the most rewarding for sure.
Love it.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Don't be shy.
I'll jump in, Eric.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead, Neil.
Erica, how are you? Thank you so very much.
Hey.
So the triplex, is that on Bedford? The north side or the south side?
No, it's on my old store was on Bedford, in Williamsburg, and my triplex is on Kingsland, 291 Kingsland.
Oh, so the other side. Okay.
Yeah, near McGolrick Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really nice area.
Yeah, really nice area.
So how did what was your thought process going in? So you see this triplex, they're all 1-1s. You turn them into 2-1s.
2 twos.
2-2s. Wow. Okay, so 2-2s. So
Yeah.
that's a huge upgrade in and of itself. That's probably just by making that decision, you just added a $500,000, right? Because 5,200 for a 2-2, what's a 1-1 getting?
Yeah, exactly. 1-1 would probably be around 3,800, a 2-2. So yeah, I added bathrooms. So like that was a big one. But so yeah, so 3,800, 36, 30 to 38 for a 1-1, 52, 50, I mean, I got 5,000, 4,900. So
Right, but
yeah.
the market's 52. So that's a big increase in rents right there. How
Yeah.
did you go about, like, what was your thought process going in? Did you go in saying, all right, I'm making these 2-2s? Was that a
Yes.
conversation you had with the contractor and he brought the idea up? If we move the kitchens up, we can get another bedroom or a bath here, or like, what was that thought process?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I basically ran a lot of Excel sheets before I did anything. So I knew I was originally looking at Ridgewood, Queens, and guys, Ridgewood is like popping off for anyone. Like they've already gone up since last year, which Ridgewood, Queens is an up and coming neighborhood and it's way cheaper at the time. And I never thought I was going to get something in Greenpoint ever. But then I would always like kind of look because they were my price point was like 1.5. And so I saw the Greenpoint thing come up. I knew from all of my sheets, and I just looked at them recently again to check because I had all my old numbers in there, but I knew a 2-unit would not cash flow. I needed 3 units. And then, so the 2 families were out. They just didn't make sense. And then I knew that in New York City, this is just a virtue of being a New Yorker for rentals. It's not always the square foot, it's the number of bedrooms because people will cram people in. This is New York City, you know what I mean? So like, it's always the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. So like, if you can get something in, I would do it. So like, as soon as I saw that house, I knew that I was going to move the kitchen, but I didn't know the extent of the gut renovation I was going to do. So like, at first I was just focused on the cost to move the kitchen and add a bathroom. So like, that's all it was. Then I ended up redoing the floors and redoing everything else. So yeah. But so yeah, it was always the plan to get as many, like anything I saw, I was like trying to map out how many bedrooms I could get into it. Honestly, some of them wouldn't have even been legal. I actually might be able to get 3 bedrooms out of this. You guys would be horrified. There's 750 square feet, I think, but like that's how it goes. So like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it's always
7
bedrooms. If you can get another bed, dude, like my friend bought a studio like studios just don't appreciate here that much. You know, like I 2 bedrooms are key. I didn't want any 1 bedrooms.
That is
Yeah.
Hey,
amazing.
Erica, if you don't mind sharing, how close was your renovation budget to what you actually, or your actual renovation cost to what you budgeted?
Oh yeah, who's talking? Who's talking? I don't see them.
Oh, I'm
Cipriano.
Oh,
sorry, it's
there you
me,
are. There you
Erica.
are.
Yeah,
Okay, there you are. I
yeah.
see.
And
Yeah,
listen, by the
renovation
way,
budget. So my
yeah,
renovation
amazing
budget,
story.
yeah, my
Sorry.
renovation budget was pretty good. So I think all in it was about 350, 400. I have to add the all of my bills, but yeah, it's about 350, 400 all in, which was extremely cheap. The reason why it's cheap is because I have a really good relationship with my contractor and I mean, that's what I think. I have no idea, but I think we would try to do something else together. So I've already kind of scouted looking. Who knows if that will end up coming to fruition, but yeah.
Thank you.
Neil was just saying that it raised the property value by 500. I did some
Yeah.
simple calculations. At a 6 cap, it went up by $840,000 just going from a 1 bedroom to a 2.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
So
My
that's
goodness.
huge.
And then that bathroom adds a lot too. Like the bathroom, yeah. Like people want 2 bathrooms, you know?
Yeah,
So,
because then when they search in their criteria, that's what they're searching for, right?
yes.
That comes way before even the square footage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Erica, I have
Erica,
another question. Do you feel like at this point you like being an LP or a GP better?
For sure, a GP, that would always be like my goal
Yeah.
from, I mean, I think being a limited partner is great if you really have, want nothing to, no work. But I think for me, like I started to raise money. I feel very comfortable raising money. I feel like it's very adjacent to what I do, which is like, when I'm selling, I'm like, when I'm selling at the showroom, I'm doing sales like that's what I'm doing. I'm like selling people on this new brand that they have never heard of, so like it takes a lot for them to like come on board. And I'm finding people on LinkedIn, and I'm harassing them, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm very used to that. That's how I have
Persistent.
yeah, person, like once you get on my radar, you will never get off.
You're
Like
not harassing, you're persistent. That's it.
she's a buy or die.
Yeah. Like we just closed this is a funny thing, but I do a big portion of private label business for Hot Topic Women's, which is very random, right? But I found this buyer on LinkedIn 3 years ago and she finally placed an order last year. And so like it took a lot. That's why I'm like to my employees, a no is not a no, a no is a maybe, so like it just might not be this exact second, but like so like to answer your question, I would love to continue to raise on deals. I don't know if I would be the operator. I actually don't love doing that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I can, but it's just like it's not my thing. So yeah.
And that's okay. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. And you learn. That's part of the journey, I think, of all this. You learn what you like to do and what you don't. And
Yes.
sometimes you do things you don't like to do and you do them, and that's okay. But yeah, that's all part of this process as well.
Yes.
I have a question, please. It's Darren.
Hey,
Hey,
Darren,
everybody.
sure.
Hey, Darren.
I moved to a different room because we have family here trying to be quiet. Erica, thank you for sharing your story. Incredibly vulnerable, which I very much appreciate.
Mm.
2 questions. Number one, how did you find your contractor? How did you vet them? Did you have a previous relationship? As we all know, that can be a nightmare, and we've been through some of those similar stories. Number two, has there been any, with what you've been through and just your grit, your drive, what keeps you grounded? What keeps you going? Is there a role model now or has been that just like, when things get tough, you're like, all right, I need a word from such and such, or is it your faith? Or kind of speak to that too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's such a good question. Thanks, Darren. I found my contractor I found my agent, my real estate agent through Bigger Pockets. I was really determined to find a good agent. I found someone that specialized in multifamily in New York City. And then when I was closing on the house, because he only works with multifamily investors in New York City, he has a network of GCs that have done projects for his clients. So I like it. Like in New York, I've kind of created like a very insular environment. So it's kind of like hard to be like a complete jerk, like because we all know so many people and now they're in my real estate women's group, like that we all use the same lenders, the same GCs. So I had interviewed 3 GCs that had come by from as a recommendation from my multifamily investor brokers. And the 3 of them gave me bids. I kind of saw how they communicated. The one that I hired was just like on me every day. He's made my life a lot easier. He had the best prices. It doesn't always work like that, but we've been great partners. I know it's like funny because everyone has these horror stories. I don't really. He's gone above and beyond. I mean, he's done things that I probably haven't even like paid for. I don't know. So it's like it's been a great relationship, very oddly. And what has kept me grounded is 100% my family. I mean, my dad is like my idol. If I talk about it, I'll get sad, but yeah. So he's like a rock. Like he took care of myself and my mom, and yeah.
I have one other thing. So you are showing up everywhere. Your online presence is amazing. You're traveling to properties. You're traveling for networking events. Like you name it. You've got your multiple employees, your businesses, right? Like, and you're investing in real estate and you host meetups. So is there some advice you can give to kind of how you balance all of that out?
Oh man.
I know.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot. It's definitely been a lot with like doing real estate as well, but I've gotten into other habits that I never did before and I will say that they're really like positive habits. So I wake up at 5 now. Never ever did I do that. So like from 5 to 9 I really do my real estate and entrepreneurship stuff because I know no one can bother me. And if you're an entrepreneur, nothing is better than like no one talking to you, like no employees, no one. Because during the day, I'm really getting peppered with questions all day, either by clients or by employees. And so I have like an extra 4 hours in the morning. Like instead of staying up and watching TV and waking up at 9, which is probably what I did before, I now just rearrange my schedule. And I do believe that like you're going to make time for the things that matter to you. Like if you want to do it, you'll do it. And if you don't, you won't do it. So I'm obsessed with all of the stuff that I do. So like I love it. I'm fine to sacrifice like going out with friends, like and stuff like that. I just don't do as much of that. I really like to stay pretty focused but it's not, I get overwhelmed too. And like you guys, I don't have kids, which is probably a big time commitment for a lot of you guys. So I have extra hours in the day.
Yeah, you make no excuses and you just make it happen. I love it.
Thanks, Christina.
Yeah.
Anyone
Anybody else? Please don't be shy for the questions with Erika. Go ahead, Melanie.
Hi guys, good morning, Erica. I love your story.
Thanks.
Your start in entrepreneurship in retail just kind of hit my heart because it's what keeps me in my business, like what keeps me in my W-2. I love the conversation of emerging brands. So that hit home for me. So thank you for sharing.
That's awesome.
My question to you is, so with your multifamily, how much of that is what you've done on your own and you financed it yourself, or how did you finance the one that you did on your own?
I finance it myself. I saved a lot of money from my business, and that was like one of the things. Like, and that was really nerve-wracking, I will say. So, like, I started investing a lot of my money in 2020. Prior to that, I was just like, oh, cash flow. Like I can buy this thing. Like I just wasn't that smart with my money. I would say 2020 is when I really started to buckle down and be like, I need to get invested. I need to like think of my future. So I built up a nest egg. And then that's what I did. That's what I used to purchase my 3-family. I did get a loan. I mean, I have a mortgage. The mortgage is about $12,300 a month. So it barely cash flows, but I mean, in New York City, I'm just glad that anything cash flows, because prior to this, I should say that like before I got into real estate, I was going to buy a condo mostly in cash, which like a condo just doesn't even make sense. So like, I'm just so thankful I didn't do that. I was so close to pulling the trigger. This was prior to any learning about any real estate. And then I went to Bigger Pockets and someone was like, you should look into multifamily. I found a multifamily broker. So, but yeah, that's pretty, and it was scary. It's scary to put that much cash into a building. And the only way I could really justify it was like, I'm just taking it from like, I'm still with Charles Schwab. I probably shouldn't have gone back, but it was like, just, I view it as like taking money from that portfolio and just like putting it into a house, like a different portfolio. But it was scary for sure. It was definitely scary.
And now that you know what you know today, would you have done it the same way?
For sure, 100%.
Okay.
And I mean, like, even though New York City is not like on everyone's radar to invest in, I do really believe like there is something to be said to invest in your backyard. Like it wasn't easy, and I was lucky enough to be able to do it because it's an expensive market, but I know New York City like street by street, like house by house. Like I know exactly where things are appreciating. I know areas not to, like, surprisingly, there are areas in New York City that are not appreciating. They're not losing value, but they're not appreciating. And so that it's an appreciation game for sure. It's not a cash flow city. So I would do it again for sure.
Awesome. And that's I guess that's what we're realizing about California, because it's our backyard. We know it, and all these other markets that everybody's investing in, we're like, but we don't, like, how are we going to get there? Are we going to be able to do that? Are we going to get on a plane, that often? But I do see value in investing in our backyard, because and it is an appreciation play, and that's okay. And I'm just curious because you've done it, and that kind of gives us a little bit of hope, because I still think that there are opportunities. Like we can see the opportunities, and it might be bigger investment upfront, but the rewards, I think, are also a lot bigger. So yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm new to real estate. Again, there's so many more experienced people here, but like, yeah, I would agree. I would say that you can make out of state work. So many people here do, but I don't know. I really enjoy, for my first one anyways, like investing in my city. I may go out of state at some point, but for the first one, it was nice to be able to, like, I was there this morning. I go every morning on a walk. I just like check in on it. Like, I like doing that. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Well, all right. Erika, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your
you.
story and allowing, and like Darren said, being vulnerable, allowing us to get to know you on a deeper level. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for so much for having me, and thanks for everyone for listening.
Erika, you were awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I knew
Thanks,
you'd be
guys.
awesome, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, guys.
All right,
Have a
we'll
great
see
rest
you.
of your
Have a
day.
good weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys. That's a wrap for today's 911 real estate call.
Thank you so much for attending, sharing your thoughts, and learning with us today.
Real estate isn't just about numbers. It's about creating intentional moves and finding opportunities that align with your goals.
Whether you're saving lives, leading a business, or growing your investments, the goal is to make your money work for you.
Stay engaged, keep learning. Let's keep pushing forward towards financial freedom.
We look forward to seeing you on our next call.
Until then, stay focused,
Stay connected, and keep building wealth
one property at a time.